We are back with Randy Mastro, and I just want to continue a little bit about the pied-à-terre tax. I know that 17,000 letters went out, but at the last count, over 4,000 people have filed for exemptions saying they shouldn't have to pay the tax, and that number seems to be growing.
6,800. 6,800 have either completed the application or started it. What does that tell you about how off the city administration was and didn't do its work on the front end to make an initial determination the tax actually applied to those people?
So you have a hearing scheduled before a judge on August 31st.
Correct.
What do you want the judge to do?
I think the judge, he's already found at the initial stage that we're likely to succeed on the merits, which means those notices the city issued are illegal. People don't have to respond to those and participate in the city's made-up exemption process. The roll that the city posted of over 900,000 homeowners saying it was related to the surcharge will have to come down for all time. And the city will have to do it right. It'll have to do a do-over, where when it sends a letter to a property owner, it's saying you owe the tax, and here's why, instead of you may owe the tax.
And you have to prove us why
and prove you don't.
Yeah, I got it. So let's change the topic. I want to talk to you about the Elizabeth Street Gardens. When you were the first deputy mayor under Eric Adams, you convinced him that it wasn't a good place to build affordable housing, that we should keep the garden. And you had other proposals at other places, Suffolk Street being one of them, where you thought you could do the same kind of housing without taking away the garden. The then candidate, Mamdani, said, when I get elected, I'm going to build housing on Elizabeth Street Gardens. He's since had a change of heart, and now, oh my God, there's a decision not to build there, and they may be looking at, dare I say it, Suffolk Street. So how do you feel about that?
Well, you quoted the mayor earlier taking a swipe at me about the pied-à-terre tax lawsuit. He also apparently took a swipe at me yesterday about Elizabeth Street Garden, saying he had to do it because
you made it parkland.
Yeah, I made a dedicated parkland. The mayor did, of course, and that I legally maneuvered so it would be dedicated parkland. You know something? First, I should say it's a kind of compliment that I'm so on the mayor's mind. But I wish that his administration would just follow the law, and we wouldn't need to bring these lawsuits to protect New Yorkers. And on Elizabeth Street Garden, that's a win-win. Right? It's a beautiful garden that's being preserved, and right down the block, they're going to build even more affordable senior housing, what was going to be on Elizabeth Street, even more units of it, a block and a half away. And then those seniors will be able to walk to a beautiful garden every day. And stay the course, Mayor Mamdani, and develop the other two sites that we designated and got the local councilman to support, because you'll create 5 times the affordable housing that couldn't have been created otherwise. So I just have to say this, we've another legal battle won. But apparently can't win over him.
We have one more legal battle to talk about. You've also filed a suit because you want to get under freedom. A taxpayer has filed a suit that wants to get access under freedom of information to the executive orders having to deal with Israel and whether we recognize certain things having to do with the Holocaust. I wonder why this suit and why, the fact that the mayor of the city of New York has backtracked on, recognizing Israel and the definition of anti-Semitism that's widely accepted.
Okay. Well, in that lawsuit, I'm representing, and my law firm, Deckard, is representing a prominent freelance journalist, Richard Behar, writes for Fortune, Forbes, other publications, who served FOIL requests on this administration as to why on day one, Mayor Mamdani voided every executive order of the Adams administration that was designed to combat anti-Semitism, one of which he had to backtrack and reappoint the mayor's office to combat anti-Semitism. And then he did a second FOIL request in April when suddenly on the Economic Development Corporation's website, the city's Economic Development Corporation, any reference to Israel was wiped out, even though we do a lot of business with Israel. Guess what the Mamdani administration responded? It responded, we'll let you know in November. In November.
So
We sued, and we sued on a pro bono basis. I've known Richard for many, many years, respect him tremendously. Why is it so important? We live in the city with the largest Jewish population in the world. And guess what? There are more hate crimes today against Jews than every other group combined. And hate crimes are spiking. That's the one area where crime is up. Also the subway, but I'm focused on hate crimes. More hate crimes against Jews than all other groups combined. This is a 5-alarm fire, and the mayor is responding not by recognizing it's a fire. That seems like, there's more gasoline on the flames of that fire. So it's an important lawsuit.
Didn't he say he wanted to be more transparent than any mayor in the history of life?
He did, but then he didn't march in the Israel Day Parade, the first mayor since its inception in 1964 who hasn't done that. We've obviously gotten stonewalled on the Freedom of Information case. We will get there. We will get the information. But as you know, as a journalist, you're the first wall. The journalists need that information timely so they can get it out to the public because they're keeping the public informed. So that's why this case is so important.
I just wanted to ask you, you've been in government a long time, in and out of government. What's the best job that you ever had?
Wow.
You were a prosecutor, you served in the Giuliani administration.
And I've had some remarkable experiences in private practice. Like now. This is, I love what we do. The legal profession is an honorable profession, and you can do so much good in and out of government when you bring cases that involve vindicating people's rights against their government when their government is oppressing them. So what's my favorite job? I have to say, having been top deputy mayor in 2 administrations was so much fun. I came back. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me twice, and those jobs are just amazing.
You worked once for a Republican and once for a Democrat. Was it different?
Very different, because they're very different people. Rudy Giuliani, it will surprise no one. Very hands-on, very detail-oriented, and we were in such a crisis as a city. Financial crisis, crime through the roof, 2,000 murders a year.
Crime was really tough.
It was a very tough period, and he was very hands-on. I was honored to be his deputy mayor. That administration did so much good, and it was your classic nonpartisan, multi-party representation throughout the administration, because Rudy didn't look at people in the city, whether they were Republicans or Democrats, in those days. Didn't look at anyone by their party affiliation. He just loved this city and cared about that. Eric Adams also loves this city. By the time I came into his administration, he was going through a personal crisis and coming towards the tail end of what had been a legal issue for him that had hurt him. I wanted to do everything I could to help him. He's the nicest man. He is just such a great guy with such a big heart. And I did everything I could over that year to help not only stabilize the city, but make advances, including against anti-Semitism. That's the shame of it, to see so much of that great work that Mayor Adams did dismantled by this administration.
So would you ever want to go back into public service?
It's in my blood, but I'm having so much fun in private practice at Deckert. What can I say? It's just been a blast.
So what is it about public service that appeals to you?
Particularly in those roles as a top deputy mayor in 2 administrations, you can do so much good. You can help people in such profound ways, just by policy initiatives, legislation, and the like. Generations to come will thank us for what we did at Elizabeth Street Garden and recognize that we built more affordable housing. That's just a small example of what we did.
So I just want to read you, I'm going to end with this, a quote about you. It's talking about you. His style as an attorney was once likened to wrestling an alligator, and he still keeps a rubber alligator figure in his office. Is that true?
Completely true.
Your style is like an alligator.
No, that's what somebody said about me.
Right.
Marcia.
Do you feel like you're like an alligator? You chomp at the...
Marcia, I am a zealous advocate in the courtroom, and I was a zealous advocate for New Yorkers when I was a deputy mayor. And I kind of look at it this way. In real life, I'm just a teddy bear. In the courtroom,
You're an
I'm a
alligator.
bear.
On that note, I'm going to get you a stuffed alligator after the show. Randy, thank you for joining me.
Thank you,
and
Marcia.
Thank you at home for joining us as well.